Hey, hi, hello there. I'm DilyDaly, and this is 20-Minute Tuesdays. So, if you don't know, 20-Minute Tuesdays are basically, how should I say? We will be, I'm just gonna unlock these since I have the money. Are the runes or not runes? What are they called? I don't know what those are called. Whatever. Welcome to 20-Minute Tuesdays. Basically, we're changing up how anything works. For one, 20-Minute Tuesdays, basically, we don't play for an hour. That's not the plan. The plan is that we will play until we get a completion. That could take 20 minutes. That could take 4 hours. Hopefully not 4 hours. I'm recording this before work. So that's the plan, is we record this, not before work, but before, but we record this in one sitting, and once we get a completion, the video ends. So like I said, could be 20 minutes, could be 4 hours. It's not very specific, and it's all based on how well I play, okay? I'll still talk about stuff that I've watched and things I've been doing or whatever, all like that. For instance, I'm going to be talking about, for right now, I'll be talking about the scheduling and the other stuff I've been working on. So, for one, I talked about it in the last video, in the Balatro rogue-lite power hour, but the schedule's changing. So for one, yes, 20-Minute Tuesdays, that's one thing. I'm aiming for shorter videos, something a little bit more digestible. The rogue-lite power hours are still going to be here, but they're going to be weekly uploads, okay? Kind of what I originally planned to begin with, way back when I first started. I plan to do rogue-lite power hours every week, and I would do solo content on a different channel, and I'd do multiplayer content on another one. Each one would get one weekly upload. That was the plan. But now, things have changed quite a bit, because I really like roguelites, and I want to play more than just one. So, I decided I'll have a couple mainstays, like 20 Minutes Till Dawn, Witchfire, Skul, and Vampire Survivors. Those are going to be mainstays. Those will be here every single week. In the meantime, what I'm going to be changing is how these things get recorded and uploaded. So, on OBS, I've adjusted a bunch of different settings and made it a lot easier for myself to just make a video. So, for instance, for this roguelite power hour, for this 20-Minute Tuesday, my OBS, I have a setting for weekly upload recordings. So all of my profile changed, my scene collection changed, and now suddenly I can just switch to that, and I can change my game capture to whatever I want, and then I'm good. All of my audio settings are still there, all of my correct scenes are still there, all of my sources are correct, my recording is just good to go. On the other hand, something like the Vampire Survivors voiceover, I can also just switch to that profile and setting and scene collection, and then I'm good to go. I have no issues. It's just little things like that where I can make just transitioning into different kinds of videos seamless without having to really worry about what it might look like, what it's going to seem like, and what it feels like for me. Because the harder something is to do, the less likely you're going to do it. That's just basic psychology. But on top of that, I am not diagnosed, so I'm not going to say I have anything. But you've all been watching me for long enough, you know better than most that I'm not exactly normal. So the easier something is to do, the more likely I'm going to do it. So recording videos ahead of time and setting up schedules, all of that's really easy. But the second there's any kind of difficulty in the actual act of doing so, the more difficult it's going to be, just in general. So for me, I'm going to be doing my best to record everything more appropriately, more consistently, and hopefully with everything the way that I have it set up now, the monotony of it will be easier. Because I'm not going to be recording a bunch of different roguelites all the time. I'm going to be recording 4 main ones, you know, Skul, 20 Minutes Till Dawn, Witchfire, and Vampire Survivors. And then I'll be recording a new roguelite whenever I want. If I feel like I want to go back to Astria or Die in the Dungeon, or if I want to do 3 Shogun Showdown roguelite powers in a row, I can just do that. Because if I feel like we're making good progress, I can just go back and do that. So every weekly upload will be Shogun Showdown. And then, for instance, with the last Balatro video, I didn't do it, but I could have. I could have done post-commentary. Because that's something I'm able to do with how I'm recording these things and how I'm doing it. The only real issue with this setup the way that it is that videos are going to be a lot shorter. Which means, for those of you that enjoyed watching me while you went to sleep, you're gonna have to go to the playlists, unfortunately. Because the current way that I'm doing things and how I want people to come and watch the videos involves having shorter videos. The longer videos work for like long series. So for instance, when I finally, whenever, end up making the story mode video for Dispatch, I'm gonna cut it all down into one video and you guys will enjoy that pretty thoroughly. But something like this, for like a long recording video series style thing, the shorter the better. So I want to get as much traction and as much attention as possible while doing this. You also might be wondering, is this post-commentary? You seem really focused and paying attention. Not really. It's not post-commentary. It's just that, for whatever reason, when I'm holding a controller, it's a lot easier for me to just do things kind of, not say off the cuff, but just do things a little bit more, how should I say, autonomy. Normally I have to pay attention and really focus when I'm using keyboard and mouse. In this case, I don't really have to do that because my brain has been using controller for so long. Section and I actually had a conversation about that I'll get into later, because that's something that I did, or it's something that we did not too long ago. Not the conversation, but the discussion did lead into us using controllers and talking about stuff like that. So I'll get into that later. But for one, I want to talk about Vampire Survivors. Specifically the fact that the last one got delayed. Honestly, that got delayed because I didn't really know how I wanted to record it. I knew that I wanted to do a Vampire Survivors video. I knew that I wanted to have it be very succinct. I wanted it to be very focused. I wanted everything to just kind of feel very video SAE, but, you know, just kind of like a review. Just a very standard, basic review. I put myself in a horrible position. I need a clear space. I don't have any space. I don't have any space. I don't have any space. Just clear out. I'm not doing enough damage now. Maybe I should have picked wind. Anyway, as I was saying, the less interesting part of all of this is that the Vampire Survivors video quite literally just didn't pan out the way that I wanted it to because of how many attempts I had trying to record that video. So I decided I'd put it not on the back burner, but that I would delay it for next week. Well, I guess this week in this case, because I felt like I could still do it. I just needed to get my thoughts out on paper first before I started, or on paper, you know, theoretically. It's not actually on paper, it's on a Google Doc. But I felt like that I was doing a disservice if I wasn't doing my due diligence to really put my thoughts in a very succinct manner, because the show was really good and I want to be able to portray that, and I want to be able to, by the way, the show in question is Psych. I wanted to be able to really tell you guys what my thoughts were, and I felt like I couldn't do that in the way that I was going to originally. So hopefully now it comes across more appropriately, and a lot more succinctly than it was going to originally. I don't know if it will, because you guys won't know the difference, but hopefully it comes across well, and hopefully it's edited in the way that I want to. Because that's the other thing. I talked about it before, but I bought this thing called the Razer Tartarus. The Razer Tartarus is a programmable, like, half keyboard, and the reason why it's important to me that it's programmable is that it uses Razer software to program its keys, which I already use Razer because I have a Razer mouse. And the reason for me picking the Razer Tartarus versus just getting another half keyboard and just fucking walking it down with all of these different hotkeys and stuff is because I already have Razer open, Razer Synapse as a third-party software, and I might as well just continue using that the way that I am, rather than getting a whole new third-party software to adjust how everything works. Let me think about this. Ooh. But that's really good. Lightning strikes. That's going to do more damage. But 10th shot? No, we need freeze. So many of my shots have pierce. Okay, we just need freeze. We also need a faster reload, Jesus. I need less enemies to deal with. I can't go back to get XP the way that I want to, so I need to be a little bit more careful here. So where's the boss? Why have we not seen a boss? Let's get magnetism. And the other thing is, too, the reason why I might sound a little bit more clear, a little bit more succinct at the moment, is because I found a new focus song. It's monotonous and repetitive, and I wouldn't recommend anyone going and listening to it. I'm also probably not going to tell you what it is, just because it works for right now, and I don't want to, like, I don't want to hype it up and realize it's not quite working because I've talked about it too much. So, in light of that, I decided I'd just tell you that I found a better way for me to focus and do things, and that'll be all. Maybe I should get... No, it's not the movement speed one. But the other thing I also want to talk about is just stuff I've been doing. So over the last weekend, the Marathon Server Slam had come out, okay? And the thing with the Marathon Server Slam is I actually really enjoyed it. Me and Section went and played it and had a really good time. I actually really enjoyed it. I know that's not very popular opinion at the moment due to a lot of people playing it and just not enjoying the Bungie-ness of everything. How should I say? The things that Bungie did in Destiny are all very prevalent in this game, with a lot of menus, among other things. But I grew up playing Destiny, a lot of Destiny, in fact. I started playing for my, I played on my brother's account a very long time ago. Way before I should have been playing mature games, but I was playing on my brother's account with my own character. And that was a very long time ago. And so I know about all the menu switching and all the other things, all these issues that a lot of people have with Marathon at the moment that I'm just kind of used to, because that's just Bungie. That's just Bungie things that I've just gotten so used to from playing Destiny. And then going past all of that is stuff like why the gunplay feels so good, why certain aspects of the game, gunfights, are so enticing and interesting, the gameplay feel is so good. I will admit there's plenty of problems. There's millions of problems, hundreds of problems, easily. But I have to make the admission that even though there's these problems, I still really enjoy the game. And there's not a whole lot anyone can say to take that away from me. I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of people talking about why it is the game sucks, why it is there's so many problems, all these issues, all these hate watching, right? And to be honest, I don't care. I do care enough to talk about it right now, but it's a different kind of care. It's not that I care and I'm upset about it. I care because I want people to understand where it is I'm coming from when I say that I really enjoy this game. I enjoy the game because it's fun. I know that kind of comes across very strangely, because no shit, it's a game. The game should be fun. It's not a question of whether it's fun or not, it's about whether it's good. Well, that's the problem, isn't it? The problem is that being fun is all that mattered. If it's fun, it's good. A really dogshit 4 out of 10 game can still be fun. Not saying Marathon's a 4 out of 10, but a game that is a 4 out of 10 can be fun. Look at something like some of the Poppy Playtime games, right? I know a lot of those games aren't really are fun. They're good games, right? Are they? A lot of the different Poppy Playtime chapters come out with hundreds upon hundreds of bugs that I know are very well liked by the speedrunning community, but those games aren't good. They're unpolished messes. Not all that dissimilar to how Marathon is. But everyone will say those games are good because of aspects outside the game. Not too long ago, that wasn't all that dissimilar to what the Bungie was doing with Destiny, where Destiny was a good game, but all of the great parts of it, all of the story, all of the mystery was outside the game in Destiny 1. Whereas something like Poppy Playtime, story's not outside the game. It's in the game. It's everything you read, everything you watch. But the game isn't really there. Meanwhile, with Marathon, the mystery is there, the intrigue, everything is in the game, plus there's some aspect outside the game that is enjoyable. A lot of the story and lore that you're understanding and hearing about in the game. But it's not quite the same. And I'm not sure anyone really sees that right now. I'm not sure anyone can really see that the game is good. And I'm hoping at some point, before Bungie inevitably has to slow down, people realize that the game is good. That there is a good game behind all the hate. That there is a dev team behind all that hate that strive to make a good game. That there is something there that maybe deserves a second chance. I know a lot of people do the comparison thing. A lot of people do the is it good thing. They do the is the game, what is the rating, what's the interest, what's the streamer views, all of these things. And I understand it's how we quantify, it's all dependent on how we quantify if something's worth playing, worth buying. For $40, maybe it's not for you. Don't buy it. Don't worry about it. Wait till the next game. But if you really enjoy this game, you enjoy the server slam, you have the money for it, you have the time to put into it, to really enjoy, fuck everybody else. Just enjoy the game. have fun. Because, like I said, it's not about if the game's good. It's not about if the game is polished. It's not about if there's no bugs. If it doesn't work on someone else's system. It's about if you had fun. That's what the game's about. That's what gaming is about. Did you have fun? And you know what? I did. I had a lot of fun. Am I gonna buy it? Maybe after I do my taxes. But is that gonna stop me from speaking my truth? Saying the game's interesting, saying the game's fun, that it's enjoyable? Is me waiting to buy the game gonna stop me from doing that? No. Am I going to agree that there are issues and that the game's not really like 100% there? Yeah. I understand it's a live service. I understand that a lot of people don't like that because it means there's going to be updates to the game. They're going to make it a full game. But let me tell you, it is a full game right now. Is it a full $40 game? Not really. But it's a full game. It's a cover-to-cover, complete game with a progression system, with a fun loop, with great gunplay, with very solid optimization, all things considered, considering the state of most games nowadays, that isn't that big, size-wise. There's not a whole lot you lose from playing it, aside from the $40 you spent. So, what I'm trying to say is, I'll be honest, I kind of lost what I was saying, which is very unfortunate. It doesn't look very good. But all that I mean to say is that the game's fun. Maybe it's not worth $40. If it's on sale, hell, if it's $30, I'd buy it. I'd buy it a lot sooner than having to wait for my taxes. I'll tell you that much. But I will also say that the $40 that it's worth, that's what I'm talking about live service. I will say that for the live service aspect of the game, I think I like it. Because I think a lot of people look at live service and misinterpret or maybe betray its meaning altogether when they look at live service. And I don't blame people as much as I think about how many news outlets have talked about, have really spent time talking about live service in the way that they have. And it's no hate to anyone talking about live service in the way that they are, because I think certain aspects of live service are bad. But I don't think it's live service. I don't have a problem with live service, to be honest with you, because live service isn't the problem. My problem is with greedy companies. Because live service is something, in the way that it's been going on, is something we've all grown up with. We've all existed with. And my biggest explanation for that is Destiny. So Destiny, when it became free, ended up having $60 expansions, right? $40 to $60 expansions that would come out every year just so that you can enjoy and play the game that you paid for already. A game that you've played for free for so many hours that now you have to pay an extra amount of money to just have more fun in. And let me tell you, that's just what MMOs are. You remember Wizard 101? What'd you have to do? You had to go get a subscription to enjoy more of the game that you already spent hours experiencing, leveling up those pets, enjoying so thoroughly. How about WoW? How about Final Fantasy XIV? All of those games that you've already experienced hundreds upon hundreds of free hours in, that now to enjoy more, you have to spend more money. And what is Destiny if not a MMO light?
with no subscription model, free, with hundreds of hours worth of gameplay, just happens to also have certain aspects where you have to pay for expansions, among other things. It's not that different to an MMO, but because it's an FPS, because it's as polished as it is, because it was once paid for, that's a problem. And because Bungie, admittedly, is very greedy. However, my counterpoint to this, is there are plenty of other games like this, where the live service issue is not with live service. The issue with live service is companies. It's companies that don't understand how to do live service correctly. Because you think of live service, and you think of Destiny. Well, it's not a live service, it's just an MMO light. You think of it like that, suddenly it's a little more reasonable. You think of live service, and I bet you didn't think of Black Ops 3. Where Black Ops 3 is actually maybe one of the more notorious live service games to exist. Because what did they do when the game came out? They made more DLC. They made more content to support the game live, to give you a service constantly, to constantly give you something that you had to pay for to experience more of the game. In fairness, they didn't take away part of the game to do that, like how Bungie has done with their greediness, but they gave you more game, and you had to pay for it. And did you? Yeah. Why? Because it was pre-2020. It was before people started doing the math. It was before people thought about how much they were actually spending on these games. It was before how much time was being spent. It was before us, my generation, some of the older generation, really spent time thinking about how much money was going into the pockets of these greedy bastards. So, you know what? Enjoy what you enjoy. Take time enjoying what you enjoy and really enjoy it. With that in mind, that's the end of the 20-Minute Tuesday. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if I'm an idiot. Let me know what game you want to play for the community hour. And enjoy the new style of content that I'm making. Because I'm going to keep making it the way that I am. Because I enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next one.